Robbo. Medea. Evening, brother.
You know what? I'm just posting it up now, Robbo. So bear with me. I done it. Bingo. We're up and running, bro.
Jeez, how many seconds was that, Ernie?
Not long.
Ernie,
what are you doing with that shirt? And what is wrong with you? What are you doing?
Well, you didn't. You spoke to you in the week. You don't want me to wear the England shirt.
You can wear.
I can't wear the French shirt because your French shirt doesn't seem to match with your background. I've got my red one, but so I just thought let's go back to basic. Let's go back to being the top team.
Well, anyway, we've got a nice surprise for you next season. Don't worry. We're going to get you a proper top team shirt. I'm going to see if you're going to wear this one. Me and my mate Simon has designed a shirt for you for next season.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you know that, bro. So how you been?
I've been good. I've kind of like took my eyes off the ball of the Copa America and of obviously the Euros, because we knew it was going to be a done deal. The only team that we thought was going to cause an upset, and we spoke about it. Jeez, we're like future predictors. We did say Hungary was going to cause a problem, right? we did say Hungary was going to cause a problem. 10 minutes before the end of the game, Germany equalized, and that saw them through to the next phase of the Euros. But we did say on the preview show that this group of death is not so much as a group of death; it's a group of debt. Because Hungary was going to turn up. They were hungry. Nearly happened.
I'll tell you, that was a proper group of debt, because it was. I mean, at one time it looked like Portugal was going to go out.
Yeah, that scared me a bit. Scared me. I didn't see that one coming. But then when you do the maths, it's like, damn. Portugal out so early. And there was a few people that was obviously on social media saying, yes, I want Portugal to go out. Somebody posted, and it was quite a few people. They just wanted Portugal to go out to see Ronaldo cry. What a thing. People are evil. But it didn't happen. Goretzka came up with the goods.
Yeah.
And I think with that German game, leading on to obviously what we're talking about today, it just shows you that tournament football, some teams they're just built for it. And Germany is a machine, and they're built for tournament football. But we'll talk about that in a hot few. You know that. Remember, put your comments in the bottom. I know we're on the new time. Some people don't get it. I think they get 1900 hours confused with 7. Well, it's 7 o'clock. So if you are watching, I think what we'd like you to do, we're not forcing you to subscribe to the channel or anything like that. But if you just put a like, or just click that like button. If you're watching on YouTube right now, it all helps. I know some of you are watching and like, Robbo said click like. I ain't clicking like. Forget those people. People who are watching and you haven't done it, just click that like button. And of course, it will help with us getting the show out and about to the football community. Big show today. Yes, we have we've got our usual Talawa, Likabotchi Talawa. No other than Crystal Davis is going to be in the building. She must be a happy girl. What Jamaica's appointment, coaches and all of that. Yeah, who did they appoint? I'm sure she'll let us through. You should know Ernie, man. You know what? No, I did see it. Robbo, actually, but I didn't really penny it properly. It weren't John Barnes, though. No, it weren't John Barnes. It was more like, okay, you know what I mean? It was one of them ones. I didn't really. Yeah, it wasn't a name that that we all know about, but they've been making appointments in the Jamaica Football Federation. So let's see what comes up with that. Well, I tell you what I did see, though. Some man was screaming that they hadn't got their per diems and got payment for the Japan trip. I did see that. Oh, so next time you set me up with the
with your Jamaica cheerleaders. Yeah, just make sure you drop that one in, because when I took my foot off the gas pedal, I was like, oh, am I driving this car by myself?
And immediately I thought of you saying, clean the house.
Clean the room. But it's all right. It's all right. It just means that I got more ammunition. Well, I wouldn't say ammunition, because I ain't after anyone, but obviously we are concerned. We would like to see the home teams, like the island teams, do really well. And if it's just like ill discipline and, you know, just really bad business practice that's holding back the professional football on the islands, come on, man, we gotta clean the room.
But we'll save that for next season, because we'll get somebody from the Jamaica Federation on board to see exactly how they're progressing with this new appointment. You know what I mean? See what's going on.
So speaking of new appointments, how come they haven't found an appointment for Tottenham Hotspurs? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. The last one I saw is something. I can't even remember, so I'm not going to talk about it actually. But it was something about something like the next person who goes for the Tottenham job, if they refuse, they're going to take away their benefits or something like that. But where they put it,
listen, anything's possible. Man United's got a PE teacher, so.
Yeah, and you, I don't even know, we got
a scientist called Jurgen Klopp. You got a scientist called Jurgen Klopp. You got two off-key central defenders were sitting in 8th, and by the end of the season, ta-da! 3rd place. The gunman himself, Jurgen the Gurgen.
Don't worry, you'll get plenty of time to talk about him. The season is just around the corner. You get plenty of time to talk about him, Rob.
Don't you worry, Jurgen's got this.
Don't you worry about our PE teacher, because last time I looked, he finished ahead of Jurgen. All right. What do you reckon about Wales, man?
Do you think it could be another one of those things that Wales are just built for tournament football? No pressure, because I'm not sure. We'll find out later on. I mean, pressure, all the international teams will be at the, you know, every nation will be supporting their teams, and Wales is by every stretch it's not the biggest part of the United Kingdom. But do you think that the pressure is not as hard and bearing for Wales to finish anywhere in a top significant place in the Euros? But then when you look at their rugby team, man, if Wales don't win the rugby, it's a madness down in Cardiff. But when it comes to football, it may possibly be that the players play with not the same amount of pressure. And then you look at England and they'll come up against Scotland and they freeze. Everybody's playing statue on the football pitch. Harry Strain. I see him.
Also, we've got on the program, we've got the very first Raheem Sterling coach, one of the first pioneers, along with a good friend of ours who's no longer with us, Trevor Juggling T. Those were the two people who told me about Raheem when he was a little youth at Queen's Park Rangers. He said, watch out for this kid. So we've got Paul Lawrence, who is instrumental in the early career of Raheem. So he's coming on a little bit later as well. And I do believe, Robbo, you've got somebody from Germany.
Yes, I'm just seeing if he's Germans are usually efficient and on time.
He checked in early, man. He's looking good.
Okay. The big man's here. The big man is here. Okay, cool. Shout out to Jaffa Boogie in the house. Anybody that who's dropping their comments, please drop a like also on the page if you're on YouTube, and on Facebook. Do like Daddy Ernie. Share.
Shear out the thing, you know what I mean? Yep. We're not talking Shearer, we're shear out the thing, you know what I'm saying?
You're not talking Alan Shearer.
No, definitely not. But now I'm getting into the tournament, Robbo. We all the foolishness as who's all for go home has gone home. Right now we're getting into it now.
Did you really want I didn't want Turkey to go home.
Well,
I wanted Turkey to hang around, bro.
No. They weren't up to it, Robbo. They weren't up.
Yeah, I know they're not up to it, but you know, the Turkish can get kind of violent in the later stages, you know, when they get disrespected on the pitch. I love Turkey for that, man. They don't put up with anything, but they were like, they just got run over, bro.
Yeah.
Terrible.
You know, who else? I'm telling you what, Robbo, though, the Italians, man. The more I see them, I'm warming seriously to them, you know.
But was you one of the people that I can't remember the first show? I know Robert. We had to prompt Robert when we were speaking about the dark horses, and Robert really got into Italy. He was going, yeah.
No.
Different.
I said Italy is a dark horse, definitely, because before the run up to the tournament, there were brushing teams. Admittedly, they weren't playing nobody any standard.
Neither was England.
Yeah, but England weren't brushing nobody. England can't brush nobody. Your team can't brush anybody.
It's not my
Take
team.
out Sterling, they would be going home as well. You would be playing that record. You would be playing your favorite theme tune, mate. Coming home.
I can't actually find it. I can't find my favorite song.
People want to know why you're playing that song and saying to me that it's for me when
I'm
you're
playing the song. Let me clarify you. I'm playing It's Coming Home because Ernie is one of those people that says, "Oh, I don't support England, blah 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 blah," but deep down in his heart, of all heart, he support England. You can also check as we keep saying, check the tapes. He admitted keeping a street party when England won the World Cup with Bobby Moore.
That was in 1966. They never had a press.
So I come with your anthem.
Bruv, they never had a press like how they've got now, right? They never had
the same press, bro.
Right?
Bunch of liars.
No, they never. They had a proper press corps then. And they saw it as it is. I mean, Kenneth Wilstenholme, who was the commentator on the day, he got a bit excited. They think it's over. It is now, and all them business there. But that aside, you know, it wasn't crazy like this mobbing now that we've had over the last couple of decades.
Come on, it's the same press, man. Yada yada yada, propaganda.
Anyway, I'm gonna take great pride in telling you that your team's coming on when you get dust out.
Listen, it's not my team. I've never, as I said to you, I've never been an England fan. I had no reason to be an England fan.
We're doing the England shirt.
I haven't got an England shirt.
I'm sure I saw you in an England shirt, and then you put up a flag as well across the St. George. Come on.
That was because my neighbours were coming around chat. Easy chat.
You know what I mean?
You have to do like the Romans. You put up. Nah, not me. Wouldn't happen.
Okay. So, who shall we talk to first? Shall we light it down? We will save. Shall we light it up with Paul and the Raheem story, or shall we save that for a little bit?
Well, let's bring in Crystal because she's here.
She's here. And she lick about Shitalawa. So we better bring her in before she gets crazy. Good evening, Crystal.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we said good evening.
Okay, yeah, I thought I was on mute.
No. Good evening. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Yes, I'm well. I don't know about Robbo because he's lost his national anthem, so he's not feeling too good.
I can't find it. But I've got another one. Well, I've got something else for you. It's not the national anthem. I keep telling you. It's Spinner and the Deal. Big tune.
Crystal, before we get in, the appointment there's a new appointment in the Jamaica football team. Have you got any update on that?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you haven't remembered his name up until now, but it's no other than Mr. Paul Hall. So he's going to split it. So he's doing his work at Queen's Park Rangers, and he's going to be doing that on a part-time basis along with his role for the Reggae Boys.
What is he? Is he assistant coach, or what's Paul gonna be doing?
Yeah, he's been brought in on a part-time basis as the assistant coach.
Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to that. He's not a household name. I mean, football fans will know Paul Hall. I think he used to play for Charlton at one time, I think, if my memory serves me right.
He's a Reggae Boys legend, no doubt, for his involvement in the World Cup 1998, and at the moment he's Queen's Park Rangers senior professional phase coach, and he's doing a tremendous job over at QPR. So he's a legend within his own right.
Okay. Well, we look forward to that. Hopefully, he can turn around the fortunes of the Reggae Boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what have you got? What have you got for us today? What are you going to be telling us?
I was actually hoping that we could focus on none other than Kante. I'm sure we're all a massive fan of his, and we spoke quite briefly towards at the early stage of the production for the Euro 2021, and we're talking about various topics, and obviously Kante was one of the topics that we spoke about. So yeah, I was wondering if we could talk about Kante, and obviously he's in a position where he could potentially win it all. Obviously he's already won major honors with his club, starting off with Leicester City, where he won the Premier League title. He moved on to Chelsea, where he's gone and won the Premier League title. So he's a two-time Premier League champion. Yeah, two-time Premier League champion. He's won the Champions League with Chelsea. He's also won the Europa League with Chelsea as well. And obviously with France, he's gone and won the World Cup. So he's on track to pretty much win every single relevant. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's on course to win every relevant trophy within his league.
Hey, that actually makes him their man. That makes him the man. If he's win every relevant trophy.
Robert, I was going to say two trophies that he hasn't won. No, he hasn't won the Aldi Cup, and he hasn't won the Emirates Trophy.
and one other trophy he can't win. He can't win the Copa America, can he? He can't win that. That's a major trophy.
Yeah.
And I suppose he hasn't won the Olympics as well. So there's three trophies we need.
Isn't. Yeah.
Well, there's three trophies that if he pockets those three trophies, he is officially the man.
Oh,
yeah, the real man. Yeah.
I think as things stand, when you look at like accolades that major players can win, obviously we know the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, not dismissing his achievements. Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, they themselves have yet to win the World Cup. We don't know if they're gonna achieve winning the World Cup, but the fact that someone like Kante with his quality has gone on and won the World Cup, and he's, like I said, two-time Premier League champions with two different clubs, Europa League under his belt and the Champions League under his belt. For him to go on and to win the Euros with France, he's already in a league of his own. But to go ahead and do that, he's just a cut above the rest.
Definitely.
Well, we'll definitely look at Kante's chances of winning. Obviously, later in the show, we have the games really that we have to look out for. But obviously the one we're focusing on today is the one that will, I suppose Ernie will be asking the question. It ain't coming. It was saying, I'll be saying it's coming home, and then he said he ain't coming. He ain't coming home. He ain't coming home. Germany, England taking place
Tuesday night.
Yep, Tuesday night, Wembley Stadium. 25 years ago, Germans struck their stuff in Wembley, and that was just the semi-finals. And I think for most people that remembered that game was bigger than, they'd say that game was supposed to be in the final. It was an epic game. Ebbed and flowed. Everybody remembers the miss from Paul Gascoigne, where his leg was that was just too short by about that much. We reckon about that much, Ernie, Gascoigne's goals.
Yeah, about that much.
I reckon Gascoigne was out on the lash, and if he wasn't out on the lash, he would have been able to retrieve that ball. But he had so much lager inside of him, he just couldn't get there. So obviously, the Germans are, how could we say, they are built for tournament football. I don't know if it's a mentality. I don't know if it's a mindset. I don't know if it's just supposed to be. But we have on the show with us a man who has and in some ways, he's used that same mentality to win some of the biggest sound clashes in the world. Warrior Sound from Germany won the Welcome to Jamrock Cruise clash, and he's done his thing all over the world. He's a selector that I've respected because he's a one-man army. He does it by himself. So let's let him in Mattia from Warrior Sound, who is a crazy international German fan. So if I done it for Ernie, I suppose I can do it for Mattia. All rise. Mattia's in the house. He's in the house. Oh no! That's not a German shirt, son.
No, that's my local team. That's Schalke.
I gave you the Daddy Ernie big up. And the man turns up in, what's that? What shirt is that? Is that
Schalke?
Schalke.
Yeah, man. That's from the Ruhr area over here. They just went down to the second league. Actually, they did really bad. They had a bad year.
Hey, listen, thank you for Matip. Thank you for
Matip. And who else? Zane was raised in there. Also Neuer, our keeper, our national keeper. He's playing in Munich now, but he's originally from Schalke. As a youth, he played in Schalke already. So a lot of great players.
Thank you for loaning us that defender. It didn't make no difference to us. Thank you. Thank you again, Mattia. So Schalke
is also from Schalke, actually.
Schalke's produced some gunmen over the years. You know what I mean? A lot of players have come through that football club and academy. But obviously, the ones that go on and lift the World Cup for Germany, that German team, wow. You must have been sweating, though, the other day, Mattia. You must have been sweating. That
was an amazing day. But actually, like the way was way more interesting than lifting that trophy in 2010, actually. Like the way going up there and the games that, like all the steps, like I feel those tournaments are really interesting on the long run. It's not just one game, but the tension just went up from game to game. And then in the end, winning a tournament big like this and seeing Schweinsteiger with the blood in his face and like all those guys that worked so hard and didn't make it in 2006 when the World Cup was in Germany. They were all in the team. It was their last big tournament. And then like ending their career with a title big like this, it was so great, really.
I actually went to that World Cup in 2006. I did one of the I don't know if you might have been at one of the parties I played. I can't remember, but I did one in
Stuttgart, probably, huh?
It was one strange city in Germany we went to, and we did a party in there. It was kind of crazy, man. So yeah, Germany is a crazy place. So you nearly slipped out. The Hungarians nearly kicked your ass, man. What happened? What's going on?
It's always like this. We start weak and we get better with each game then. Now, the pressure is real now because now is the knockout round and you know how it goes. I remember really good that day that we won 4-1 against England in the knockout round a couple of years ago in the World Cup, actually. So I hope for a repeat.
Was that South Africa?
Huh?
Yeah.
Was that the World Cup in South Africa, right?
Yeah, that was when we had our Wembley goal. I know they still in Germany they still talk about that Wembley goal in 1966 when I don't know which player it was. The English player hit the crossbar. The ball was
early. Was it Jeff Hurst?
It was Jeff Hurst.
And the referee decided that it was a goal, but nobody was sure if it was. And like in the end, it was not. So in Germany, they still talk about this legend, the Wembley goal. And then when we had the South African, I think it was a quarterfinal, right? And Germany scored the Wembley goal. Actually, we hit the crossbar. Yeah. The ball went not into the goal, but we still got the goal. So on that day, we got our revenge for the Wembley goal. And this is what people still talking about.
You're still carrying feelings from 1966. You're like worse than Ernie, man. But wasn't it Frank Lampard that created all the hysteria with his ball that went in the goal against Germany? And all of a sudden we've got this mad system called VAR. England pushed, the English FA pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. They said, "Oh, you remember Frank Lampard? He nearly scored again." And now we got VAR all over the world ruining the game. Yes. Thank you very much, Germany.
In the end, I think it takes away some of the discussions, the VAR, but also I'm not a big fan of it because I love these discussions, like those stories from 1966. You would not talk about this today if they had the VAR back in those days, and that takes a little bit, to go in a pub and talk about those old stories. the recent the recent technology, I think it adds something to it, but it also takes away something from the game, because we all love to talk about those goals and those games that are years ago, and that we remember where we were sitting and where it was happening, and when history repeated itself. And now a lot of those stories are stopped by the VAR, because they just say, okay, we are going to check it, and then you have to wait for 2 minutes, and they have to check it on the monitor then, because they're waiting on the signal. Everybody is like, what are we doing now? The players don't know what to do, and then in the end, perhaps it's a goal, perhaps not, but we don't have anything to talk about 10 years later, because nobody is saying, do you remember the VAR decision in the quarterfinal in 2021?
So Mattia, tell me something. Are you want it straightforward? You want this? The Germans want this victory straightforward. No VAR, no nothing. You want to put out England, right? How confident are you in this game? It's coming home.
I'm telling you.
How confident are you of winning this game? Because I tell you what, I'm neither for and neither against. So I'll be happy whatever team wins. Whatever team wins, it means there's a good team left in the tournament. But I look at the German team, and Kimmich is my favorite German player. He's an absolute. That guy is a world star. But I look at the team, and it's scattered with really good quality players. In the same way, England's team is scattered with really good quality players. But there's one world star in the German team for me is Kimmich. How confident are you that you win?
I have to tell you this. I'm not really super confident, because if you saw the first game against France, you can lose against the world champion, no problem. And then you come back against Portugal with this game, which is a 4-2, but you still there were 2 goals by Portugal, and it was a furious game. It could go in either direction, you know. Like there were parts in that game where even when we were ahead 4-1 and they scored a 4-2, it was like I had the feeling, okay, this can go wrong now. It can end 4-4, because like there was so much space, and the defending line was not really 100% on top. And then he changed, I think, 4 players in 10 minutes, and the whole chemistry changed of the game and of the team. So it was really, really difficult. And we have great individual players. We have a lot of players from Munich and Chelsea as well. So I think we have like 7 players from Munich alone. When they are on the court, they know each other so good, Like you have Havertz, Rüdiger, and Werner. They both all play together at Chelsea, and they know each other so good. So it's good that there are so many people that know how to play with each other. But in the end, when you change that chemistry and pull out the wrong player, it can change everything. And I think Jogi Löw did a great job over the 15 years that he is the head coach of the team. But in the end, I think it is time for change. He knows that. That's why this is his last tournament. But I think time for change is since 2 years or 3 years. So I really hope that he will make it. So he has his 200 plus games, perhaps ends with the trophy. But for me, honestly, even as a fan, it's 50-50. Because England has such a great team. There's so many good players. And, like that team. And I don't know. It's so hard, like people like Mason Mount. I really rate Mason Mount. Like he is such a great player. I love to watch him play football. And Sterling, Kane, man, there are so many great players in the team. Then you have Walker and Stones and Maguire. It's not easy to score against those guys.
Let me ask you something, Mattia. This is my question before I let Ernie and Talawa ask you a question. Kai Havertz. I mean, this is one of the most expensive player now in the world, over 70 million pounds. I think he's talented footballer, but I don't think he's all that. I think he's talented. He's got very quick feet, very sharp in mind. Does that player win the World Cup win the Euros for you? Do you see him being one of the players that wins it for you? I don't see what all the hype's about. I think he's a very good footballer, but very good, and it stops there. What do you say?
He's a very good footballer for you, Kai Havertz, and I have to admit that he made his way. He's playing in Chelsea. He's the Champions League champion, and but he's not that one star that will make the difference for this team. In Germany, it's all about the teamwork. And if there's a player that is standing out right now in the team, for me, it's Robin Gosens. That's a guy who's 26. He never played for the youth teams.
Yeah.
He became a professional footballer in his 20s, and like his way was when he was 18, Borussia Dortmund refused him, and he tried to do a regular job, and then somehow he catched his way back to the professional football, and he's playing in Atalanta Bergamo in Italy, and he's played, a few very good seasons. Atalanta Bergamo is in the Champions League for the last few years, I think, and they did really good. And Robin Gosens, he just went into the team very late, and then against Portugal, he scored the first goal, which was an offside goal, and the third goal was his goal too, and he did the game of his life. Now against the last game, he didn't play that good, but he's the one person, because of his mentality, that can make a change. Because what I also feel like, those individual players which have a monster mentality that can like pick up the whole team and carry them forward and push them so hard, there are only a few left. And this is the problem in the German team, in my opinion. There's not that one or two leaders that take the people and push them to the limit. But Robin Gosens can be one of those.
So you say that 50-50 chance. What are you saying, Ernie?
Well, Matthias, I haven't been really too impressed with the Germans. I think this is probably, this team is probably the least explosive German side. But why isn't Sane starting?
I can't tell you this, but when you saw him play in the last game, the expectations were so high and he couldn't live up to it. So I don't actually know. And there are so many great players. Like you have Gnabry, you have Goretzka. Goretzka wasn't starting, so then he had to get Müller back on the track. He had to get Müller in the team, like in the 70th minute or so, to make sure Germany is not losing. And Müller was injured. He was not supposed to play. He was supposed to stay on the bench and don't play. But he had to put him in because the team didn't had the ways to score the goals and be dominant. And I agree, it's not an impressive German team, but over the tournament, if they somehow get through against England, I'm sure they can go as far as possible. But they need that. Like against Portugal was not really a big success. Now the last game against Hungary that wasn't a good game. Even in the end, they didn't score that goal. They went with three people. They were like attacking with three people against two defenders, and they were not able to make that goal to not play against England in this stage of the tournament, but play against Switzerland and then perhaps later play against England. And they didn't it looked like they didn't really took it serious. So I don't know what the problem is over there, but I agree with you. It's not the most impressive German team, and I hope it will get better, and I hope this will start on Tuesday.
You know something, Matthias? This is the first time since '66 that I've seen the German side gonna play against England, and I've got a feeling England's gonna beat them. It's the first time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
big talk, Ernie. Big talk.
I've got a feeling that
Your
England.
big England talk, Ernie, is coming out now. Yeah.
They won't. If it was Portugal or France, then I'd say no hope. But I've got a feeling that they're going to beat Germany this time round. I mean, Germany
Matthias,
out of so many competitions, but I think this time is England time. But they're going to get knocked out in the next round, so it don't really matter.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon? What is your score prediction, Matthias? Give us your score prediction.
Okay.
Not the one that you would like, the one that you really, if you put your football head on, what do you think the score will be on Tuesday?
Okay, I give you both. The one that I like is 0-0 in the first half, 1-1 in the second half, 2-2 in the overtime,
Wow.
and 7-6 for Germany in the end.
What's that on penalties?
And
Wow.
it will be a very close game. I think it will not be the most interesting game. It will be a very tactical game. I don't think it will be a top speed game. I think everybody wants to, like defend good and make sure that they don't that the opponents don't score any goals. I think it will be either. Yeah, I hope for 1-1 actually after 90 minutes, and then everything is possible. I say 1-1 after 90 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Crystal.
All right. Well, Mattia, I know you're doing a live stream tonight. You're breaking records live streaming all over the world.
Hold on, I think Crystal's got a message, a few words to Matthias as well.
It's just because he's got to jump off because he's live streaming in about 24 minutes, right?
Yes.
Go on, Crystal.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I definitely agree with what you've said so far, Mattia, in the sense that it is definitely 50-50. I was just wondering, do you think that England might have a slight psychological advantage over Germany? Again, we can look at 1966, winning the World Cup against West Germany at the time. Also, England's most recent victory came against Germany in 2016. Obviously, that was just a friendly match. If we look at a competitive match, we have to go all the way back to 2001, which Michael Owen was the star player of that game, and England beat Germany 5-1 in a World Cup qualifier. Do you think England might carry that as a slight psychological advantage going into Tuesday's game and get the one up against Germany?
No, I think the advantage will be that they play at Wembley, that they play at home, that they have their fans. There are no German fans because they would have to go to quarantine. So if they're not in England already, they are not able to visit the game. And I think that will be because a lot of those players, they didn't play in those times. They don't remember those stories. And what counts for them is what's happening in the last weeks and months and years. And I think the home advantage will be real because even watching a game with 12,000 people and you hear the English fans singing the national anthem, gives me as a German goosebumps that there are finally fans back in the stadium and there's a vibe and I see a crowd. This, especially as a DJ, someone who works in the entertainment industry, is so good to see that life is coming back to those stadiums because after the stadiums, it's obvious there will be festivals and clubs and I can't wait for this.
Yeah, you know that. Hey, yo, load.
And listen, Matthias, thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a great insight. Good luck for Tuesday night, and good luck for tonight. How can people catch you if they want to catch the live stream, Matthias live?
Yeah, it's twitch.tv/WarriorSoundInt. Warrior Sound International. You can search it on Twitch. I stream exclusive on Twitch, and it's great fun. We have a Zoom meeting open. You can Zoom yourself into the stream tonight. So yeah, man, everybody make sure to pass through. I do 4 streams a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, all on my Twitch page. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's Warrior Sound in one word, and there's a link to my Twitch page as well. Yes.
There you go, man.
That's the page. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right, Matthias, enough respect. If we get further down in the competition with Germany, we'll have you back on. And make sure you wear your German shirt for Daddy Ernie, yeah?
Okay. Will do.
Yes, bro. Nice one.
There
you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw clips of him on the Welcome to Jamrock boat cruise doing his thing against the my friend from the African DJ. Oh shit, I got his name, man. Dynamique. They got through to the last round, so it was like Africa versus Germany. Crazy, man. Okay, so we're here. We have I know you got a special guest in the building. Ernie, you've been talking about him for quite some time because I think Ernie thinks he had something to do with the rise of Raheem Sterling, but we don't believe you, Ernie. I know this man's gonna put it right though. Ernie's freezed up. Ernie's freezed up. He's frozen up. Talawa, what do you reckon the score for Tuesday is going to be?
You know what? I think England might beat them, Robbo. I think England just might beat them because they've beaten them when it mattered. I mean, obviously, Mattia, he made a great point in that they beat England in the World Cup knockout stage in 2010. I just think that England playing at home turf, the host, with fans behind them, with a good team, because they do have the quality with amongst their selection. I think they can beat them. I think they will beat them. Could go for maybe. I would love to see penalty shootout. England beat them on penalties, but that's a huge ask. But I think England can beat them. I can't think of a prediction, but I think England can beat them.
I definitely don't want to see penalty shootout. I'm sick and tired of penalties. It used to thrill me once upon a time, the penalty shootouts, but we see some of the biggest games of our lives, like over the last how many years, penalty shootouts, even in like the European Championships. I mean, in the Champions League, some big penalty shootouts, and I think I've had it up to here, and I think as well as the VAR has taken a little bit out of the game, and penalty shootout used to be that extra bit after the game that you had to put up with, but you'd far rather the game be won, as you know, the game's just being won. I want them to go back to golden goals. I like that system, like scoring the golden goal, and then you
I agree with All Saint actually. All Saint said 2-1 England. I was gonna go with that score line, so I think that's a great shout.
I can't take your prediction, because last week you said big and serious that England gonna lick down Scotland, and nothing I got so.
I never said that, Robbo. I said I want to upset. I said I want them upset. I didn't want to kind of get upset because England did feel like them in that win. And
want to upset. When I asked you for your prediction, you said, yeah, England's winning that game. Yeah, England's winning that game. Yeah, it's coming home. England's winning the game. I'm sure Paul is in the house. I don't know where Ernie is, but we'll bring him in. I hope he's here. We've spoken enough about Germany. It's time for us to speak about England. Paul Lawrence is in the house. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Robbo. And
good evening, man. I don't know where Ernie's gone to, but obviously the talk is England, Germany, and one of the players that is the poster boy, who's now kind of overtaking everyone to become the poster boy for England, the face of England. And if England are going to do anything against Germany, if this player doesn't have a significant part of the game, I don't know how England will overcome Germany. He's a player that you nurtured as a young footballer. We're talking about Raheem Sterling, and obviously you're here to tell us a little bit about young Raheem, to where he is now at the verge of what the biggest international game of his life. The boy from Northwest London. Could he do it? Could he take England all the way?
I believe he can, and I think Raheem believes he can. Raheem's grown up from his young days, living down the road from Wembley Stadium, and probably saw the old stadium knocked down and saw the new stadium being built. So literally from where he used to play, behind where he lives, there's a grass pitch there. When you come off the grass pitch, you can look up the road and you can see Wembley Stadium. And he would walk that way to get past the stadium to get to school every day, and then walk that way to go past Wembley Stadium to get back home. So it's probably always been his dream to play at Wembley Stadium and perform at the highest level, both for Manchester City and for England, which he's been doing.
Well, he's played his football in and around Northwest London. Where exactly did he actually start playing football? And what school did he actually attend in Northwest, so that we all can get it clear, us Northwest people?
Okay, well, I knew Raheem when he was going to Oakington Manor School. So that was up the road from where he
was. That was primary school, right?
Primary school, yeah. So I knew him a couple of years before he came to Copeland Community School, which is where I worked. I've been there for like 29 years now. It's now called Ark Elvin Academy. So this picture shows Raheem. We had 2 cup finals in the space of a week, and Raheem was in year 7. That's the first year back in our days, and he was playing for year 8s as well, the same week. So the year 7s were unlucky to lose their final, but Raheem played really well and almost won the game by himself for us. And then later on that week, he played for the year 8s and made a good few chances, made a goal, and scored a hat-trick himself. So that was the picture of the team, which somebody's cropped. So it's just Raheem and myself in there. And the other picture shows Raheem holding the Brent Cup that we won.
I'll say this, Paul. I won the Brent Cup also. But that was many years ago at Wilsden Stadium. I just want to add it. I'm nowhere near as good as, but I won the Brent Cup too with Wembley High School in my first year. So. Yeah, we did well. And it wasn't Oakland we played. It was I think it was Bronsbury and Kilburn, but we brushed them. We won the Brent Cup. So big up. So Paul, I mean, there's a lot of being said about Raheem. A lot, and when I say a lot of being said, a lot of the press have they've had their field day with Raheem Sterling, but he's very keeps a cool lid, or keeps a very cool head, a very composed. And maybe that was one of the reasons why they felt they could actually pick on him. But the person that's emerged from all the talk, the debate, is a very level-headed young man, and he's proving to be much of a leader for his community. The stuff he does. Did you see that in him as a school kid?
Yeah, as a youngster, Raheem was always very humble, very likable, easy on with. He's always up for a laugh or having a joke, and enjoying himself. And everybody would always want to be around him and want to have conversation with him or go and have jokes with him, etc. He always had time for everybody, and he's still the same way now. He's like always got time to speak to people, regardless who they are, what sort of level they're on, or what background they're from. He's got time for everybody, and such a kind, loving, giving person.
Yeah, I mean, at what age did he leave your hands and went on to QPR, and obviously the next move was Liverpool? Do you remember that transition at that time?
Yeah, of course, because he was with us at Copeland Community School all through school. He spent the last few months just before taking his exams when he got transferred from Queen's Park Rangers up to Liverpool. So just the last sort of few weeks, months leading up to his exams, that's when he moved up there. So he was 16 at the time. So I actually coached him all the way through secondary school, but I also coached him at Queen's Park Rangers as well. Yeah.
Trevor was you worked with Trevor Hutton. Trevor Hutton is, people that know me know that he was one of my mentors. Gave me a start in the music industry. Not football, even though we were both at two separate ends. He was a neighbor of mine, but I know Trevor was speaking about Raheem from an early day. What was it that they saw in Raheem at 16? Because usually you go through that under, joining clubs at 7 and 8 years old, 9 years old, clubs in and around the London area, the scouts. What did they see in Raheem at 16 where they just said, no, this is it? What was that? Because you need to be incredibly gifted at 16 to just take the eye of I think then at the time, QPR was a Premiership club, right?
Yeah, I mean, what happened with Raheem is when he was 14, he went for Middlesex, and he didn't get. So he was really upset about that. So I said to him, Raheem, don't worry about that. I said, as far as I'm concerned, Middlesex are the kind of people, which they were at that time, where they wanted somebody that's big, strong, really aggressive, and sort of mean and all that kind of stuff. That's not Raheem. He's a footballer that happens to be quite quick. So I said to him, don't worry, leave it with me. And what I done was I took my time to speak to some of the different England age group coaches, and I asked them, not if they could play, but I asked them if they would allow Raheem to train with them. Have a couple of training sessions and see what you think, kind of thing. And they invited Raheem to come up and train for the under 16s. He trained with them twice, and then they put him straight into a match. So he's 14 years old playing for England under 16s. At the time, is that? Go on.
I was gonna say, is that usually the case? Because it sounds like a very comfortable transition. Like I just spoke to a few people. I mean, there's so many kids that would like people to speak on their behalf. Is that wall easy to? Is that door easy to knock down?
No, that kind of thing never happens. Some people went out their way to come speak to me. The different age group coaches came out their way and saw me to ask me, what do I think about Raheem and what's he like? What's his personality like? What's his character like? what's his attributes, etc. So what I done, I explained to them these different
Big
age
shirt.
codes, including
Yeah.
Gareth Southgate, because Gareth Southgate was the under 21 coach at the time, and he came and asked me about Raheem. Kenny Dalglish came and asked me about him. Brendan Rodgers came and asked me about him. So these were people that were instrumental in keeping him on the right pathway to help guide him through. So when you look at it now, Raheem has been involved in the England setup for 10 to 12 years now. So when people ask about how comes Gareth Southgate on, how comes England's got so much trust in him, he's been playing for England for a very long time, and he's very experienced with Champions League experience, as well as playing in World Cups and Euros before now, even though he's still a young man.
Did you find it strange that there was a lot of people sector in the media and even England fans were saying, yeah, Raheem said he's not got no form though. He's not got, but when it say form is class is permanent, form is temporary, but they were quick to write him off and actually wanted to see that he was not really picked in the starting lineup ahead and Mason Mount ahead of him. Were you surprised when you heard that, or did you think to yourself, nah, you knew like deep down Sterling starts?
I thought to myself straight away, I don't know about, because I was confident, not only but I was confident that he really score goals, because as far as I'm concerned, he's almost like from ground. As I said, grew up the road, he's passing on the way to school, he's passing it on the way home, and it's always been his dream to play at Wembley. And every time I've seen him play at Wembley, he's put loads of chances as well as all goals.
Yeah. His performance so far, he's kind of done the business for England. Do you think that continues? Do you think that the blip is over? And that also goes with his club form. Does it look like he's turned the corner now?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing to give you a bit more confidence than scoring some goals, as well as if you're creating chances and you're performing well, that helps you to get more confident to try more things and to try and have more of an influence on the game. And I think because other players now are playing better than they were, it encourages everybody to step up to the plate and do a little extra.
Definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to obviously the game against Germany. We've just spoken to Mattia from Warrior Sound, a massive German fan. I spoke to him about Kai Havertz. I'm going to ask you this question as someone who's been around the game. The conversation around Kai Havertz's name, and someone like Raheem Sterling, the kid from Northwest London. There's similarities being young footballers coming in the game and actually getting a big move at a young age. Raheem with Man City, Kai Havertz at Chelsea. But when people talk about world stars, what does it take to be a world star? Can you see a Kai Havertz and Raheem on that same level? Or do you think actually, really we should be looking at the ability and what they actually do? How do you view a world star?
I think all things happen in time. I mean, if you look at the people that we take for granted as world stars, you see over the course of many years that they score many goals, they create loads of chances, they always make a difference in the games that they play. That is one of the main things, because especially nowadays, a lot of the games are so tight, so close. You need somebody that's going to do something a little bit different or a little bit extra, or maybe enough to go and take on the players to create space for somebody else, or create a chance for somebody else to score, even if they don't score themselves.
I hear that. Crystal, you any questions for Paul?
Yeah, just a quick one from me, Paul. First of all, thank you so much for molding and developing Raheem into the player that he is today. Whilst you was going through your thought process of connecting Raheem to England, did you at any point think of connecting Raheem to the Jamaica setup? And if not, why is that? I have to ask, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You're asking for Ernie. Green screen Ernie.
Bro.
I tell you what, do you want to answer that, Ernie, first?
What?
Do you want to answer that first, Ernie?
No, well, my views is that they should play for their country of their parents' birth. but it's quite obvious that from what I've just picked up, Raheem was playing for England at an early age, so obviously there weren't no chance of him going to play for Jamaica.
Point of view, I played for myself for a while. So I played for Watford for years back in the day. The list of Johns, Luther Blissett, and Kenny Jackett, Nigel Callan, etc. So it crossed my mind for Raheem to play for Jamaica, but by that time he'd already been playing for England for so long and being successful playing for the older age groups. He's also playing for the older age groups at Queen's Park Rangers. So he's playing for Queen's Park Rangers under 18s and their reserves at 40 years old. So I just thought if he's playing for the England age group teams, that will help his career and help him to be fast-tracked into the England first team and help him to get decent chances with some of the biggest teams in England.
One question I'd like to ask you quick, Paul. The move from QPR to Liverpool at the time, it came out of the blue, especially the type of manager that Liverpool had at the time was Rafa Benitez, and he was in his final year. He was he done what he did at Liverpool. Was Rafa instrumental in the move of Raheem to Liverpool, or was that because Rafa was actually going out the door? How did that transition happen? Because we see where Raheem is today, but from QPR, 16 years old, to Liverpool, what was the makeup of that move?
Wasn't Doug Leash instrumental in that?
No, I think Rafa was the manager at the time.
Yeah, but Kenny Dalglish used to coach to wide. He would literally.
We got a bit of glitchy connection.
So good. I think Kenny was.
Paul, I think we're glitching.
He came and spoke to me and asked what that. Kenny Dalglish came and saw me and asked me, what do I think about Raheem Sterling? So I told him what I thought about him. So I think he was the main people behind Raheem getting that move from Queen's Park Rangers to Liverpool.
Okay. So it had nothing to do with Rafa then?
I wouldn't say it had nothing to do with him, but I just think it did have much to do with him. Because it's strange how not too that Brendan came and saw me and asked me some of the similar sort of questions that he was asking. So I gave him the same information. I believed in Raheem totally. I knew he had a great future, and I knew that he was the kind of person as a coach's dream. So he would always be the first person to turn to training. He would help you with all equipment. He'd want to improve every part of his game. He'd want to improve his passing, his dribbling, his shooting, in X goes on.
All right, we're having a bit of a problem with the line there. I wonder if you can refresh and come back in, because that was some good bits there.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Ernie, why are you lying down for? Ernie's lying down there. Crystal, have a word, man. Have a word, Uncle Ernie, man. Your mic's off.
Robert, Ernie, know why you talk about Foden?
There's no need to talk about Foden tonight. He's not in the team. But mind you, Foden and Raheem playing together would be fun.
Yeah.
Would be fun.
Oh, Robert, you heard about Jack Grealish potentially signing for Man City?
Good luck to Man City and good luck to Jack Grealish.
Taking liberties. And yeah, that's going to be...
You're paying, you're paying £50, £50 million. It's called the English tax you're paying there, because he's not a £100 million player.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with you. The last £100 million player was wasn't it Eden Hazard? I think he was the last £100 million.
To Real Madrid?
Yeah.
To Real Madrid.
I think he was the last £100 million pound
player. English inflation tax, isn't it?
Yeah, English taxes. Welcome back, Paul. Paul. Yeah, it's great now. So Raheem, how does it, from a personal view, how do you think his situation with Pep Guardiola continues? Because there was a interview with Raheem after his first game, the first match, and he was saying, "Look, I knew that all I wanted to get out of this summer was to be back playing football." He kind of said it in a way like to be back playing football for England. And I knew that, coming up, I was waiting, like almost I couldn't wait for the season to end so I can start playing back football for England. That kind of sounds like he was saying he was having a horrible time up in Manchester, and he wanted to be back playing for the national team. How do you think his relationship with Pep Guardiola goes from here? And do you think there is some I don't know, I wouldn't you're never gonna say the wrong things, but I mean, do you think there's something up in Raheem's mind that Man City, I'm not being seen in the same in the right way? Do you think that's coming through at all?
Well, I think firstly, Pep Guardiola and Manchester City have been so great with Raheem for many years now. If you look back over the years when Raheem's been there, he's always been somebody that started. All the rest of players would get rotated, or they'd get dropped, or they'd have some injury concerns, or but Raheem would always play. And I think for the last few months of the season, for Raheem not to be an automatic starter, I think that's down to his form. Everybody's going to lose form now and then. And this is the first time in the last how many years that Raheem has not been on top form. So is he above being dropped? I don't think so. But at the same time, I think he feels so confident and comfortable playing with England, because obviously the competition is not the same for places in England. And I think he knows that it's his chance to shine on the big stage. So I think he couldn't wait to come and play this tournament, also because they're playing at Wembley.
Yeah, so you think it's the Wembley factor? Because remember, there was calls for him to be dropped for Gareth's team as well. I know you did say earlier on he's got a relationship and Gareth trusts him as a player, but there was big pressures mounting that Mason Mount starts in his position.
Fans and from some parts of the media can understand that kind of thing, but when you compare it, I mean, is Mason Mount a similar type of player? I wouldn't say so. He's a midfield player that can join in late, whereas Raheem is a striker that can play any. He can play on the right. He can provide and create and assist with chances, and he scores. Mason Mount's a midfield player that can play a little further up the pitch and can join in and score the odd goal and create more than score goals, I think.
Okay. Ernie, you're back.
I'm telling you, I've missed the whole show, man. I can't believe it.
Well, we're 3 minutes. We're 3 minutes gone. The time we usually have a game starting at 8 o'clock, so I suppose we can go on for another 10. Did you hear what Paul was saying about your man? He said what we all said to you, Ernie: loss of form.
Okay, is that why you put it down to Pep not picking him as a regular star at Man City, Paul?
No, the more the season went on, it's a combination of tiredness or just sometimes you do lose your form as players. And how young they're playing. Sometimes you could have a marvelous season and suddenly for 2-4 games you can't pass it. You can't hit the door. It happens to us. We're all human beings. Not everybody can be totally brilliant every single game. Nobody mentions it when Messi's loss of form or Ronaldo's got a loss of form, because now and then they might pop up for a goal because they're never going to get dropped. Whereas in a situation with Manchester City, when you've got so many great players, if you're not on top form, you will get dropped. Other people are going to come in that are on tip form.
So, rumours going around that there could be Sugar Strain, as we call him, could be going Man City, and maybe Raheem is one of the players who's been offered to Tottenham Hotspurs. Is there any truth in that foolishness.
Well, apparently, Manchester City have put in a bid for Harry Kane. I think it has not been accepted, and there's been talk about maybe use player or a couple of players, and you have to pay the full amount that Tottenham are demanding for, which is understandable. Whether I don't think people about names about who possibly might come, but looking at the top of the team, you got to think about what sort of players. Somebody like Aki to the Spurs squad, left-sided players.
Oh, Paul, the audio is going. Paul, the audio is going bananas, man. If you could do a quick refresh, the audio is it's giving us hell today, man. So if you could do a quick refresh, and we'll kind of start wrapping up over here. But do refresh and come back quickly if you can. Ernie.
Yeah.
So
I'll
don't think that. Yeah, do that again. I don't think that rumors. You should stop buying the Sun newspaper, Ernie. I keep telling you, stop buying the Sun. How can Raheem Sterling?
Robbo,
How can Raheem Sterling go to Tottenham?
Robbo, I don't buy the Sun. I'm telling you that now. But the three players, Laporte, Mahrez, and Sterling, that's what they're saying. Manchester City could possibly be getting rid. But what do you think about Sterling maybe going Real Madrid or Barcelona at this stage of his career? What do you reckon, Crystal?
I think he should stay in the Premier League. I don't doubt that he can play for either Real Madrid or Barcelona. He's obviously a player of great quality, and there's room for improvement within Raheem Sterling. But I would selfishly love to see him stay and play in the Premier League. I don't know if he would play for his boyhood club. Obviously, we all know who his boyhood clubs are. And
Manchester United.
I don't wish to see him in Manchester United colours. So if he's going to come North London, then it has to be the best team in North London. So I would take him at Arsenal with open arms. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta would do the same as well. So maybe Paul can put in a good word for us.
But his boyhood team is Man United.
Yeah, but no, I don't want to see Raheem Sterling in Manchester United colours. There's no need for that. We don't need to see that happen. Plus, to go from Manchester City to Manchester United, it's a bit like Carlos Tevez. We don't want to see that happen, Ernie.
Well, so Sancho could become in Manchester United, and he was at Man City.
Sometimes players take backward steps, Daddy Ernie. You can't blame them. Young, naive.
I can see Sterling leaving Man City, and he'll definitely be playing somewhere in Spain because he has that. He got everything about him. He's a talent, man, and he's a world star. I can see him going off and making his way. And if he went to Barcelona or Real Madrid, they would have an exceptional footballer. You would be able to count on him in the same way Manchester City counts on him. He'd be winning trophy. Anywhere he goes, he'll be picking up silver, man. He's an exceptional talent. He does not need to do that dreaming stuff of Man United. No chance. Well, don't need it. He doesn't need that, Ernie.
It's his boyhood team. Just make note of that. It's his boyhood team, and strange things happen in football.
Ernie, it would never happen, man. It would never happen. It's not going to happen.
What do you reckon,
Listen,
Paul?
Paul knows what's up, man. Paul's been there, man. Paul knows what's up, man. Paul,
I think one thing to bear in mind is he's playing for. I think one thing to bear in mind in Europe, that's always in with a chance of winning the Premier League, always in with a chance of the Champions League, always in with a good chance of winning the FA Cup, always in with a good chance of winning the League Cup. There's not many of us can go to that would be fighting right till near the end on 4 months every single season.
Yeah. There you go, Ernie. So, no, it's no.
Okay.
Paul, we'd love for you to come back on the show when we have the season it kicks off in August. Definitely, we love the insight. We want to talk to you more about there's so many people talk to us off air. So many people come to me and ask me, this person that spoke about this, and this person, my son is 9, my son is 8, my son's at trials with so-called clubs, and maybe you could shed some light and give the viewers some advice of how to handle the situation, because obviously it's a new season. A lot of clubs will be looking for young talent, so we'd love for you to come back on the show to throw up some light, and of course to track the progress on the king man Raheem Sterling. Definitely, we hope if you can do that.
I would definitely love to come on again. Anytime you're ready, let me know, or let Ernie know, as he's sorted out all of my technical difficulties. Now I'm up.
Most definitely.
I'll come back on. When you
I
All
sorted out your technical difficulties and ended up with some myself.
It's the way, innit? Listen, Paul, thank you very much, brother.
All right, Robo, take care, man.
Bless.
All
So,
right,
Ernie,
Paul.
you sorted out his technical difficulties and you just shit up your one. What?
Right.
What's going on?
Now, you know what? Have you heard of this BT? What's the new thing that they've got?
BT doesn't work.
No. They put a new thing in my house, and now I've got to download an app to make the new thing work. They've disconnected the old Wi-Fi. Can you believe that?
Listen, they should know. Don't throw apps at Daddy Ernie. Ernie's not the man for apps, man.
The only way it's going to work. And so when we finish here, I'm going to download this app, and we should be singing, all dancing by next week. Because if we're not, you're going to hear that somebody get murdered up here, Ruby.
Man got BT fiber, but the only fiber that's going on is that green fiber behind you. What's going on with the green fiber, bro? Is that the same reason?
I'm on the phone.
You actually look better on the phone ends.
All right. Well. So imagine. So maybe you should go on the phone as well then.
Yeah, you actually look better. Next week, put your England shirt on and put that England flag behind you. The George
They could
Cross.
be out. They could be. Crystal, what are you thinking about Tuesday? What do you reckon the score on Tuesday?
Oh
She's
God,
riding
I
with
was
England,
saying, I
man.
agree. I agree with All Saints comment. She predicted 2-1 England, and I can see it going that way. I think England have the players to beat Germany. So yeah, and like we said before, they're playing at home, so they should get the job done.
What say you, Ernie?
Yeah, I think England's going to beat them. I'm not sure. I think it might be another 1-0.
1-0 to England.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, this German team don't excite me. You know what I mean? I don't see anything in that German team. The German teams of old, they had, a Müller or a Schweinsteiger. When you hear them kind of names, a Beckenbauer, them kind of names that you said, yeah. But
you're scared.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm not hearing.
Scared.
I mean, the only player that I'm looking forward to seeing playing is Sane, and he can't make the team.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's not a great German team.
No.
I listen.
And I mean, it's not a great England team, but I think it's good enough to beat Germany.
Well, listen. This is how I go. I don't think it's a great England team. I don't think it's a great German team, but the word is in team. And I just think there's a lot more harmony going on. I think this is great harmony and Gareth got the lads together. I think that's balls, man, because there was a lot of people who were 100%, like you said, Ernie, wanted Mount and Grealish. They were clamoring for those guys. And as you rightly say, the press always plays a part in England's selection. And that doesn't strike me as team. Germany, what Mattia said, Goosen is not the most popular player. And he's turned out to be their player so far of the tournament. And Kimmich, everybody was saying, no, Kimmich's got to play in the midfield. And for team, Kimmich's gone back to his position. And he's the most outstanding fullback in the tournament, even though Germany's not the greatest team. I think just for the fact that it is about team, I think Germany runs out the winner. I look, if England win, that's a possibility. I can see that they got the home advantage. But I think Germany, knowing that they just have to get past the hurdle of England, they've got a mountain to climb, and I think the team will bond. As I said, it's the coaches. Looks like is any game that they drop out, that will be Joachim Löw's last game. I think Germany run out the winner. I think Germany pip England. I don't know the direct score, but they beat them by a goal. I say Germany wins, and that's no bias. That's team for team. I'd love Sterling.
I mean, you know, you would say that, Robert, because you've been playing footballs coming on for the last 2 weeks. So
No. Listen, I told you why. Germany will win. 1 goal advantage. Even though I want Raheem to blood them up, Germans will win. So,
do you reckon Angela will be there? You reckon Merkel will be there?
Merkel down there like a turtle, you mean? And the delegates. Merkel and the delegates. The 2,000 delegates are coming to see it not come up. No, seriously. I think Germany wins them. I think Germany wins. They're not great teams, Ernie. I agree with you and Crystal. I go with your scoreline, but I just think team.
Yeah, I like your observation, and also from history within this competition, it's only been Germany and Spain that's won the tournament the most times, that both of them winning it 3 apiece. So that's definitely got to count for something. And like we said of our first recording of the show, this is Lowe's last tournament with Germany until he step aside. So surely he wants to go out with a bang as well. Thomas Muller, this could be his last tournament with Germany as well. So surely he wants to go out with a trophy if they can go all the way. But surely for them to face off against England for the final time, they'll want to win.
And Ernie, remember your boy's at the back, Blockhead.
Oh my God! Yeah. Slabhead has returned.
What was the guy that scored the goal, the final goal in the shootout in the '96 tournament? I forgot his name, and he strutted. He did that walk and walked off after he scored the winning goal in the penalty shootout.
Oh, the German.
Yeah. Who's the German
remember.
player?
I
can see that role, Thomas Muller doing that at Wembley Stadium in front of the English fans. Can you imagine that? Don't park. Hey, if you live near Wembley, don't park it. Don't be happy with parking around there. Don't do it.
You know that.
You
might get what Robert got when he parked in the West End that time.
It might be a problem. So we'll keep our eyes on the matches. Obviously, there's more matches starting tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right? The first.
Wales are playing Denmark tomorrow.
Yeah. Sticky. Italy, obviously. Austria. Would you reckon Italy? It might be an Italy-Wales going through. I can see Wales simmering Denmark.
No.
Why not?
No, Denmark. What happened to Ericsson? Denmark is on fire, and I think that they'll pip Wales. Definitely Italy. Italy's going through.
Okay, and obviously we have. What's the other fixtures? What's Sunday? What we have going on Sunday. Sunday, the games on Sunday is the Dutch versus Czech Republic.
The Dutch look like they mean a little business. I think the Dutch will take that.
They've not had to play anybody though. Holland, they've had no one to play.
No, but I think they'll do the Czechs.
But the biggest game ahead of the England game, come on, what a draw! Belgium, Portugal. Jeez, Sunday night, 8:00. What are you saying, Crystal? Who wins that game?
You know I want Belgium to beat them. You know, like I love Belgium. I would love for Belgium to just put them to bed. We know that they're the current holders of the trophy, but yeah, I'm more team Belgium than Portugal.
So it could be a case of Belgium with Lukaku and Portugal with Ronaldo. Portugal may lose, but Ronaldo walk off with golden boot. He may get a goal and cement his golden boot, and Belgium winning. But that's going to be an interesting game on Sunday. I know the England game is a big game, England Germany, but that is a monster game, Belgium Portugal. The holders versus the team that should have been long ago holders of one of those big trophies. Definitely. All right, we'll wait and see. I
think Belgium takes that 2-1.
I don't want to make a prediction. I'm like, boy, I like both teams. I'm a massive fan of Belgium, but I'm equally a massive fan of Portugal. So
It's so hard to
wherever
make
it goes.
predictions because even in the last game with against France and Portugal, some of the refereeing decision has been a little bit questionable, particularly where the penalties are concerned. And this particular referee, I've actually liked him. Like I think he's done a pretty good job so far, but I don't know, like
He's a bit of a show
VAR,
off, that referee,
questionable
though.
penalty decision.
He's a bit of a show off,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, listen, probably rather him than Mike Dean. Mike Dean's on another level of showing off and hype, but referee
He might
has
be the
been
Manchester United fan, isn't
decent.
he?
So
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll have to
Mike
wait and
Dean?
see.
crazy.
Yeah, Mike Dean. All
Mike
of them
Dean.
ref Manchester United, all Fergie fans, aren't they?
No, but I think Mike Dean's more of a Liverpool fan.
No.
That the only,
Anyway,
the
we'll
only
see about that
guy
next
who
season.
Yes, we will. I can't wait for that to start. But obviously, we have next week to come. So let's see how it pans out, and we'll definitely be here 7 o'clock next week, Friday. I think there is let me just check. Let I check.
Is there a game next Friday?
Let me check.
There is. Yes, we're going to be doing the quarterfinals next week. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yo.
It's going to be interesting. So yeah, we'll be here nice and early at 7 o'clock next week for the game. One game starts at 5 and the other game starts at 8. So we'll be there in between the games next week. So if anybody that's watched the show, please press the like button. Please like button and drop a comment. Also your predictions of the games we just talked about, especially the big game, England versus Germany. Drop your comments below. Thanks for everybody that watched on Facebook and Twitch TV and of course YouTube. Crystal Davis, Talawa TV, the great green screen daddy Ernie. Friday night.
The ever-present Robbo, it's coming home ranks.
Yes, it's coming home. It's coming home.
Later.
Thanks, Pigs. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.